So my guitar's in standard tuning, and it starts from the 14th fret on the G and the B string down to the 12th fret, same strings, D and the B. And then to the 11th and the 10th on the D and the B, like that. And then 12th and 11th on D and G, to the 11th and 9th on the D and G. Like that. Then the second time he plays that, it's very similar, but he changes it a little bit, so he goes and then moves down here, the 7th fret G string and 9th fret D string, and then down to the 6th fret G string and 7th fret D string. So I play that from the beginning. Then up to 7th G string and 9th on the A string, and then into a barred minor from the 2nd fret with the middle finger on the 3rd fret B string. So from the intro, that's the second time, and then first. And then once you get to that point, you lift off on the B string on the 3rd fret, and then back on up to the 5th fret B string with your pinky, while strumming the A string with your thumb. Sorry. And then up to the 5th fret E string and 6th frets G string. Slide up to 7th fret A string and G string. Back down to the 3rd fret E string and 4th fret G string. And then back to 5th fret and 6th fret E string and G string. And then back to the minor bar. So from the beginning of that little part. One more time. And then slightly similar, so you're lifting off on the 3rd fret B string, but with an open E, or on the E string. So that's 4th fret A string with 4th fret E string, and then 5th fret E string, and then to 7th, if that makes sense. So that's 5th fret A string, 5th fret E string, and then 7th fret B string, and and then you move that same shape just down 1 fret. And then 9th fret E string to 8th fret. To 2nd fret E string, 5th fret E string to 2nd, like that. Open E string to 4th fret E string, open, and then to a D chord. So if I go from the barred minor, one more time. And then there's a little kind of slide down from 5th fret A string and 7th fret B string, so that's to 4th fret A string, 5th fret B string, and then 2nd fret A string, 3rd fret B string, into an A chord. Sorry, A chord, and into that shape. But if I go from, sorry, this part here, this chord you can play with the thumb over 2nd fret E string like this if you want, or so you can play it like just barred with the finger across the 2nd fret. But you want to make sure that the G string in particular is like clear in the chords, and then from there you go to just like an E major shape and hammer on the 2nd fret B string, and then a little A chord, and then it's back to the. So let's go from the minor bar chord again into the. So. So when he goes into that after the part I just did, there's a little like strumming part he does. So he goes same as the intro, just and the verse. So 14th to 12th. But I think this time there's a little slightly different chords, which is 11th fret D string, 9th fret on the G string, and then a 10th fret on the B string. Just those kind of 3 strings there. And then he goes up to 12th on the D, 11th on the G, and then 10th on the B. And then back to that first chord just showed you. That. So. Strums it like that, and then goes back up to here, and then just moves that shape down 1 fret, and then into an E major shape, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, E string, like a little kind of walking bass line it does. So it goes with the 3rd fret B string, pinky. So that's 3rd fret 4th fret into 4th fret on the E, sorry, and then 2nd fret on the B string, and then 5th fret, 4th to 5th on the E, and then into kind of E major chord again. So if I go from the little strum part, so once he goes back up to the intro again, just plays it like the I think the first verse. So just so it goes down to that part. Yeah, so into that part, if I remember rightly, so then he goes into like a strumming part. So yeah, so he does the intro slide from the 14th to the 12th, and then straight into a minor chord, barred 2nd fret with the 4th fret, A string and D string, into this chord here, which is, was that 4th fret E string, 3rd fret D string, and 2nd fret B string with the pinky on the G string 4th fret. But when you play that chord, you want to make sure you're kind of dulling the A string with 4th finger here, so it sounds kind of like that. So the minor chord. Sorry. And then into a D major. And then he does that little, so that part here, which was 5th fret A string and 7th fret B string. So 4th fret A string, 5th fret B string, and then to 2nd fret A string, 3rd fret B string. Just one more time. A string. And then instead of going into that, so he goes, strums that and then strums the A and then goes into a G major, and then back into the minor part. Lifts off the E string, so and then to a D major, and then this chord here, which is a little bit of a tricky one, is 4th fret A string, 3rd fret D string, 4th fret G string, and then 4th fret E string. But similar to the chord here that I showed just a moment ago, this one here is almost like a C shape but moved up the strings, if that makes sense. You want to make sure that again you're kind of using either your 4th finger to dull the B string. Yeah, to do that. So it kind of sounds like that. And then you go into, from, if I remember rightly, from the 2nd fret, you kind of bar it like this with the, so it's this chord here, but you bar the 2nd fret, and then you have, on the 4th fret you've got the D string, 4th fret, finger, 3rd fret B string, and then 5th fret E string. And then like the minor, you lift off the A string on the 2nd fret. strum the bottom 4 strings, 3 or 4 strings. So and then into a major chord with E major chord with the 4th finger on, sorry, the pinky on the 4th fret E string to the 2nd fret E string, and then open, and then B string 3rd fret 2nd fret, and then open B string. So like this. And then he goes back to the yes, and then the last part he just does that again, so he plays that once more time I just played through, and then the outro is like a strums minor again, just like from the 2nd fret like this, into I think an F major from the 2nd fret bar chord, and then you can just play the A like this, like a normal, you know, standard A shape, or you could bar the 2nd fret with your 1st finger, bottom kind of 4 strings, with the pinky on the 5th, and then you can do straight into this chord here, barred 2nd and 4th fret with the pinky on the 5th. And then back to the F major. And then from the 5th fret, same shape as the F, just from the 5th fret into E major with 4th frets G string and 4th fret E string. Slide up to 9th fret G string and E string, down to 7th, same strings, and then you bar the bottom 2, so the B and the E, from the 5th fret with the 7th frets on the D string, yep, and then 6th fret on the G string. Just like strum those bottom 4 strings. So let's do from the strum. So from there. And that's pretty much most of the rhythm guitar, the song. There's a little bit, so like at the end it's a little like a note he adds on the top of that with the strumming. It's quite a stretch to do that in standard, like stretching your fingers quite a bit, but you know, that if you want, you can try, because it's try that. So add a that's a little part. It's a bit of a stretch, but it can be done if you one way to do it is to you kind of, if you just detune the guitar, like half a step down, full step down, you can put the capo for half step down on the first fret and a full step, put the capo on the second fret to make it standard, and then you can like move up the neck a bit so it's a little easier to reach. I mean, maybe at least, you know, some people might find it might a bit easier just to reach that little note like that way, but that's one way of doing it anyway. And then over the end part I just played as well. Yeah, I think it's the end part. So he plays there's a little part he plays at the top of the guitar. Plays that over the top, so just a little lead part. Yeah, just a little bit. And that, yeah, again, that's kind of most of what the guitar plays, like the rhythm, you know. And I hope that makes sense. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.